Hey guys, it's Anthony here, the Healing Shaman. So, what I want to share with you about, and people ask me this, well, what happens when I start working with you to heal this trauma? Well, first, it's important to understand that trauma, and I'm talking little t trauma, not the big traumatic stuff, but the little t traumas that we've dealt with into our entire lives. Trauma is not your fault, right? Trauma is not your fault, but your healing is a personal responsibility that you can take on for yourself. And when you start on this path of personal healing, when you look at what you really want now as a gay man over age 55, what do I want now? I've lived this time, right? I'm over 55, I'm over 60. As I remind you, I'm 63. Now what? I'm really happy to embrace my elder status as a gay man, as a queer man. But some of you, what does that mean? Are you ready to embrace that, right? Are you still living, trying to live like a 30 or 35-year-old, right? Are you still in that mindset? Now again, none of this is a judgment call, but when we start talking about healing trauma, again, it's not your fault, but the healing part, you want to take that on as a personal responsibility, because when you take that first step towards your inner healing, it's gonna open the doorway to a beautiful way of finding peace and calm in your body. Now, I'm going to talk a lot about embodiment when I work with people and in the work that I do, because it's really important to know how you feel in your body. So your body is a messenger. Your body is the biggest messenger about what needs to be dealt with and what needs to be healed right away, right? Your body is not going to lie to you. So when you tense up, when you get frustrated, when something pushes your buttons, it's all in your body. You feel it in your body. That's your messenger. And believe me, I was a person many years ago who lived with a lot of bitterness, anger, regret, and resentment. And those are heavy emotions, and they're emotions that don't allow you to see clearly. They don't allow you to see clearly. I've been there, I've done that, and this is why my focus is so strong with my gay brothers about this, because I know many of you over 55, over 60, have dealt with a lot of the same issues that I've dealt with over the years. If you came out in 1980 like I did, or 1979, even at age 18, right, it was a different world. So it's important to remember that all that trauma is not your fault. And the healing part, I want you to look at it like a personal responsibility. What do you want to do to heal? What do you want to do to find inner peace and calm? Are you doing anything? Have you tried things? Now, if you're like me, I've tried all kinds of different things, and some things worked, some things didn't work. But what I found in my personal life is the shamanic journey. I teach shamanism, I teach traditional healing. So the shamanic journey is my go to. I love meditation, I love hypnosis. Reprogramming with hypnosis is a wonderful and very powerful tool to help you resolve old issues and get those limiting beliefs, really to uncover the limiting beliefs, to get to the root causes, and then create a whole new way of living, right? Now, if you're over 55, over 60, you might be of this mindset, look, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And it is about busting up those limiting beliefs, about getting to the root of the trauma so that you can heal it and move on. It's not to say that it's going to ever go away completely. I'm not a believer that it ever goes away completely, but it can be healed. And so for me, like I said, I was always holding on to anger. And it took me a long time to understand, one, anger is not the enemy. Anger is a big messenger. Anger is a messenger. Regret's not the enemy. These are all messengers, right? They're letting you know something. But if you cling to it and you let that anger and resentment and regret be the driving force, you'll never have clarity. So you have to learn how to step back and be supported and be supported. You cannot do this journey of healing alone. I know a lot of people do things alone. They meditate. Obviously, you meditate by yourself, but you meditate in groups, right? Or you listen to a hypnosis audio by yourself, but you also want to be able to be supported by people who understand what you're going through, who've lived that experience also, and can relate can relate to that. That's why I think it's so important for those of us gay people, gay men over 55, over 60, to really look at our elderhood and our status as elders in the community and what that means for the future. If you're 60 and you say, you may live to be 90, right? Well, that gets you 30 years to really make a difference and a contribution in our community. But that's a whole other side conversation. I think the big message that I want you to take away from this video is that the trauma is not your fault, and that if you look at the personal healing as a personal responsibility, that's going to give you some clarity and start to open up some doors for you to look at and see, oh, what's on the other side of that door? If I took this on as a personal responsibility to heal from old wounds, old hurts, the old traumas, right? What would it look like on the other side? Now, it doesn't happen overnight. It does not happen overnight, but you got to give yourself a break and give yourself the permission to allow yourself to take the first step. Allow yourself to heal, yes, but you have to give yourself permission to take the first step. Without the first step, nothing's going to happen. And for a lot of people, and myself included, I really had to look at the environment around me. There's some of my old gay friends that I don't interact with anymore because we're in different worlds. I'm on a different path of healing, personal healing, spiritual healing, sexual healing that has me walking on a different road. And sometimes it's lonely, but not really, because there are other people just like us who are also walking on that road, and we can support each other, right? I don't drink anymore. I don't do drugs anymore. I see some of these I see some of these videos of these young people, and some of them aren't so young, but still doing poppers. I'm like, really? Really? I'm like, I can't even imagine. I would have a heart attack if I did some poppers. But I'm saying all that to say is there are old habits that are very hard to break for some people. Now, for some people, it's not so hard. But for me, it was difficult to let go of a lot of old habits. But as I say now, I don't drink alcohol anymore. I haven't done hard drugs in, God, 15 years? No, 20 years for one drug and 15 years for the other. I don't drink hard liquor. I still like a little bit of wine, but I don't drink hard liquor. But these were, when I say it's your personal responsibility of healing, that's part of it. It's personal responsibility, personal choice. It's not a judgment call, but I knew that I had to do that for me. I had to do that for me so that I could live a more fulfilled life. Let me tell you, I'm 63. I'm in the best physical shape I've ever been in, right? Just 3 months ago, I started a whole new diet to do a spiritual quest that I was on. And there was a diet required for it, a vegetarian diet. I lost 15 pounds in 3 months. I feel great. I just went to the doctor last week. He's like, you look great. I said, thank you, doctor. But again, it comes back to personal responsibility. And if you can accept your own personal responsibility and be willing to be supported, I'm going to say that a lot. You have to be willing to be supported for your personal healing, your spiritual healing, emotional healing, mental and sexual healing to take place. Okay? So I'm going to leave it right there. Just remember, the trauma is not your fault, but the healing is your personal responsibility. If you want to know more about what I offer to people, what I offer to my gay brothers for this healing and inner healing, drop a comment, send me a direct message, get in touch with me, and we can talk more about it. All right? Peace and blessings to all of you, and we'll talk again real soon.